All right, everyone. Eric Polzin with 9 to 5 Sports. Going to be getting into another PGA DFS video. Got the Tour Championships picks and preview video here for you guys. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we get into. But first, I'm going to start off with a little bit of fun. Something happened this weekend that was pretty awesome. And I'm not talking about the viral tweet that 9 to 5 had on Twitter. You know, the 70K views that we have in there. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the next tweet here that I'm going to show you guys. That's going to get 7K views. You know, I'll just kind of let it speak for itself. I was at a bachelor party this weekend. We played some golf. We were down one hole with 2 to play. Here's something that happened on the green, and we'll just let it play out.
I think mine was close. I'm just kidding. I'm going to capture this greatness. I know. This is for him. This is for the brand.
That's better than most. How about him?
That's it.
That is better than most.
That is it.
Better than most.
What is it?
9 to 5 Nation, baby.
Get that logo right there.
All right. That shit's funny. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. That was good shit. So actually we ended up the next hole was a par 5. Ended up going driver off deck from the rough. Just put it onto the fringe. Ended up 2-putting for birdie and ended up winning it as well. So it was pretty freaking awesome there, but just good times. Good times there. You know, it's the Tour Championship. Giving a little bit of fluff out there for you guys, but it was a fun weekend. Had a good time. Always good to get out there and golf a lot. So another side story, it was like me and let's just say 30 handicappers. Those groups of 4. Those 3 groups of 4. And we ended up shooting -7. So 3 guys that pretty much don't play golf ended up shooting -7. That was a lot of fun as well. But I had a good time golfing. You know, it's kind of that time of year with golf kind of PGA wise, kind of calming down a little bit, but good time. But this week we got the Tour Championship. So just talking about lineup construction and whatnot. So we'll get us started right off the bat with this. This is a lot like a round 4 showdown slate. Okay, so starting position does matter. And for those of you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, is that the Tour Championship, it does start off based off of position. Okay, so Patrick Cantley, he's winning the FedEx Cup playoffs right now. He's in first. Then Tony Finau in second. Then Bryson DeChambeau third. John Rahm fourth. Cameron Smith fifth. Sam Burns sixth. A bunch of guys for 6th place. So what you want to do is you want to focus on like the 1 or 2 players on the top end that you really think are going to win. Okay, and those are the players that you want in most of your builds. Okay, that's what you want to do in the round 4 showdown. Then on the lower end, obviously you have to make it work. On the lower end, you want to get those players that are going to outkick their finishing position, if you will. So let's, for example purposes, I'm just going to throw someone out there. Sungjae Im. Let's just use him. If you think he's going to finish much better than his starting position, which is 11th right now, if you think he's going to finish like 5th or something like that, you'd want to play him instead. You know, it's kind of that advantage. It's kind of part of the roster construction for that. So, you know, there is some game theory to it, but at the end of the day, you are going to be playing the best players, but you're also going to be forced into some sort of roster construction, you know, especially with it being a no-cut event and whatnot. That's just the way it's going to go. So it's definitely much more of an interesting week there for the Tour Championship. But, you know, before we really dive down to that, let's get into last week's recap. So last week's recap, not horrible. Not horrible. I got to fix the graphic there for core plays. I didn't do that. I don't know why not. But, you know, the core plays for me ended up being John Rahm, Louis Oosthuizen, Paul Casey, Harris English. And then high exposure play was Patrick Cantley. And then that was it. And then it was a big drop off to mid exposure plays. So, you know, top 5, pretty confident. Was able to hit Patrick Cantley there as the top 5 player. Other than that, you know, Usti, Casey, English, they didn't really do much. it was okay. They didn't really do much, but overall it was an okay week. Nothing to write home about. The nice thing about it, I guess, was that we were on Hudson Swafford. That was like kind of an easy bet. He was like 2.5 to 1 to top 40. And that's what I put on the betting card, is that I'm like, guys, I'd much kind of just rather bet Hudson Swafford than like try to nail an outright bet, which kind of sucked because I just put 4 out there, which were the 4 core plays. If I had just done Patrick Cantley as well, which some people did in 9 to 5 Nation chat, they were saying pretty, and obviously they hit that bet. So I don't count that as a win on the betting card with Hudson Swafford at 40 to 1, but that was like the one bet I was really confident in, I guess, if you will. Just an interesting week. Hit Aaron Wise and Hudson Swafford, like I mentioned, those for values. If it was a full tournament field event type week, it would have been a really good week, but with it being a no-cut event, just wasn't exactly. So it is what it is. We will get into everything for this week, but I do want to mention to you guys that this video is going to be sponsored by Fandex.com, your fantasy sports stock exchange. You can buy, sell, and short shares. So last week, I actually bought a lot of Patrick Cantley sales in the morning of Thursday's round, right before or right after lineup lock, pretty much, which was pretty awesome to do. I got into some Patrick Cantley. That was nice to do. Sold some people that I didn't think were going to end up making the 30-man field. And then I bought some more of like Harris English and Daniel Berger because I thought that they were going to make the field. So, it's a fun way to look at it. It's a fun another way to enjoy the game. This is the last week for the 9 to 5 Nation members to really take advantage of it. So definitely go out there and check them out. It's a fun little, game that we got going there for your fantasy sports portfolio. And then just get into the preview for this week. It is East Lake Golf Club. We already kind of seen this course a decent amount, really the last 3 years, and we've seen kind of the same stats as last week. Birdie to bogey ratio, really key factor. Par 4 scoring as well. Those are going to be the most key stats. If you're just dialing in on 2, those would be the ones you want to use. Obviously, a par 70 course, so par 4 scoring does make a lot more sense, but also it does kind of bring in factors like long iron accuracy and whatnot, which it's kind of a longer par 70 course, so you can see long iron accuracy being a factor, but mostly we're just looking at strokes gained to the green and ball striking as well. So then just looking at the players that are in the best recent form, we got Justin Thomas, Xander Schauffele, Jon Rahm, Rory, Colin Morikawa, and Harris English. And then just rounding out event history. Now, for event history, I did include their starting position as a factor into that. And then I was just looking at the last 3 years of data at East Lake. So the players that ranked out best in that have at least a start at this course was Jon Rahm, Louis Oosthuizen, Harris English, Rory, JT, and Daniel Berger. But now let's get into the fun for this week.
I think mine was close. I'm just kidding.
So we're going to sort it by salary here. We don't need this video again. Let's just get that great clip out of there. Sorry about that, guys. Good stuff, though. Great stuff there. All right, here we go. So we got the cheat sheet pulled up here right now. Once again, it's going to be all about kind of nailing the lower end. Pretty much, you're going to have your guys down that you think are going to win. So for me, I'm not exactly sure. I see Patrick Cantley winning. I was on him last week. The tough part about last week is there's a ton of quality plays. And, for me, you look at someone like Harris English, who I was on a little bit more, had him as a core play. If you're going to group golfers together, stylistically and whatnot, Patrick Cantley and Harris English would be freaking right there. So it wasn't a bad call with Harris English. It was just Harris English is cheaper, so why wouldn't you play him? But it was nice to see Patrick Cantley go out and win. I just don't really like him this week. I just much rather go with Jon Rahm. I know he's starting in 4th place, but we've seen a lot of players give up leads on Sunday already over really the past 2 months. So it wouldn't really be shocking to see that happen over the course of 4 days. That's why I'm not too worried about starting position. If I think a player is going to go off and really outscore their position, that's what I'm focusing on. I don't really care about that starting point bonus at the start of the day or at the start of the week because, you give these golfers 4 rounds. If they have a really good tournament going or if they don't have a really good tournament going, then, it's naturally going to adjust in there. Now, yes, there's going to be some safety with playing Patrick Cantley, okay? He's going to get a point bonus, a pretty good one, or Tony Finau or something like that. But I want to chase those players that are going to be a little bit lower owned, that can really score because one, they're going to get the finishing position bonus, but they're also going to be getting the birdie points or the bogey free points or the 3 holes in a row birdie streak stuff. That's what I'm going to be focused on for this one. So someone like Jon Rahm just makes too much sense, guys. You just keep playing him. He keeps being a stud. Even, I'm sure, the 9th place finish last week, a little bit of a letdown, but I mean, 9th place finish, top 10 finish. We're locking in top 10 finishes. We look at his starts here at Eastlake 4th, 12th, and 11th as well. That's what the H is there stand for. H1 is going to be starting position, and then the H2 through H4, what they've done at this tournament in the last 3 years. So really great there. Look at the stats, guys. First and everything. Okay. That's it. I mean, he's got it going. Just really can't afford not to play him, I don't think. And then just hold up the Bryson thing. Let's just talk about this real quick. I mean, I just almost feel bad for him. Honestly, it's a weird thing because like he's clearly winning the Brooks Koepka argument fight shit right now. Okay, we know that, but at the same time, he's not winning the tournament. So at the same time, where Brooks Koepka is playing like pretty bad, he's also affected Bryson as well. It's like Bryson's clearly the better player right now, but at the same time, Brooks is having some sort of effect, I guess, on him with influencing the fan. And we all know he's influencing the fans through Barstool and whatnot, but I just kind of feel bad for Bryson there because he probably would have a victory here if it wasn't for really just poor sportsmanship on the fans. I don't know. You just don't really like to see that. You can like dog someone, but it's kind of shitty what's been going on there. But man, I'll show you guys the viral tweet here real quick. We'll pull that up here. This was the viral tweet. It's just kind of funny here. It's just Bryson DeChambeau trying to putt. That was Bryson trying to putt. Okay, we'll get that out of here and we'll get into this. So I don't mind Bryson. That was my long way of saying I don't mind Bryson. Lots of fluff here going on right now. But like Justin Thomas, we know Justin Thomas in no-cut events, you typically do want to target that. He's actually ranking out 6th best in the model, actually ranking out really well stat fit-wise, or not well stat fit-wise, but course history-wise, really well. 2nd, 3rd, and 7th place finish, 5th in recent form rank. I really don't mind Justin Thomas this week. You go down to something like DJ. DJ's definitely priced up though, and I think he's priced up because of that 3rd place finish and then that 1st place finish. He's not a good example of why you'd want to fade Patrick Cantley because, well, Dustin Johnson was playing extremely great golf, but at the same time, he was clearly a step above everyone else at that time, maybe except for Jon Rahm. It was really, you knew either Jon Rahm or DJ were going to win last year, where this year, you could really see anyone winning it, and, I just don't really agree with kind of the price bump for DJ just because he's played well at this course in the past is what I'm trying to get at there. Jordan, I'm not really going to go that route. I don't really want to go that route right now. Cam Smith, I'm out on Cam Smith as well. Don't like the price point. He definitely can go on and score, just not ranking out all too well. 23rd in the 9-5 model this week. And, this is definitely a huge price for him. Kind of same thing with Abraham Answer. I don't hate him, but once again, only top 20 in the 9-5 model. I'd much rather go with like Rory here, guys. Rory, yes, he's going to have to earn his points. He's going to have to really outproduce this. But the thing with like a player like Rory or Xander, we'll get into these guys a little bit more. We get a price discount and we get these guys knowing that they have to fire at pins, knowing that they have to be aggressive. So if we get one of these guys to be a little bit more hot, I guess, than they typically are, they're going to be scoring. It's going to be great. Like, it wouldn't really be shocking to see Rory in 5th place at the end of day one. And that's just, you make up your ground and you're good to go. And then just looking at kind of his splits, gains 1.2 strokes on the field in par 70 courses. And, he's played well in Donald Ross courses this year as well. Average finish is 8th. I bet that's like in one start, but still we like to see that. Xander Schauffele played really well at the Donald Ross course as well. He has tremendous course history here. If we were just looking at course history and not factoring in starting position as well, he'd be number 1. Ranks out 2nd best in the 9-5 mile this week. We already know that he's someone that can go on and score as well. I like him a little bit more this week than I did, really at the start of the playoffs. After the Olympics. For Olympics, it was kind of clear cut. Xander's the choice to go with. Since then, it was like, wait and see. We'll see what happens. But now he's at a price discount, and I really don't mind that. Now, you don't want to go with like too many of these guys, maybe like 1 or 2 in your builds, because you're going to have to fit in some values to fit someone like Jon Rahm in there and whatnot. But, Harris English and Sam Burns, guys, these are going to be the makeup of most of my builds here. Okay, we'll start with Harris English. Gained strokes putting on Bermuda greens. Has gained 1.6 strokes total on par 70 courses this year, as playing well on the Donald Ross courses as well. Harris English has just been playing some great golf, okay? There's really no reason not to play Harris English. Top 3 in the 9 to 5 mile this week. 8.7 is a good price. The thing about him is that he's not going to make many mistakes. He's one of those guys where, if anything, he's going to stay even keel at that 6th place starting spot. Maybe drop down to like 8 or so, maybe 10, but he's not going to be one that really falls off. He might be someone, though, that catches fire and starts playing really well, gets you like a 3rd place finish or something like that from Harris English. That'd be more the route that I would want to go. And then kind of same thing with Sam Burns. Sam Burns, top 13 in the 9 to 5 mile this week. Not great, but he has done really well on par 70 courses, guys. I think he's gained the most strokes gained total on par 70 courses, 2.4 on par 70 courses. It's pretty spectacular there from Sam Burns. Ranks out top 13 in the 9 to 5 mile this week. That is highly appealing to me as well. And then let's just dive down a little bit lower. We'll talk about some of those values that we want to be on. So we'll just drag the slider, pricing slider down here and get into that a little bit more. So, like a standout play is kind of Scotty Scheffler, because we know he's a guy that can be aggressive. Hasn't exactly been playing all too well thus far in the FedEx Cup playoffs. 22nd and 43rd place finish. Not all that good. Had a 5th place finish here last year. Does rank out well, staff it wise and whatnot. Mile rank 4th. That's highly intriguing. We get a guy having to play aggressive. I don't mind that. Then let's just go a little bit. Let's see which players are doing well rank wise here. So like Daniel Berger, really down here on the bottom end. He actually ranks out top 8 in the 9 to 5 mile this week. Kind of surprising to me, but then again, good stat fit. We'll scroll over here so you guys can see the stats. Strong stat fit there. Pretty good recent form as well besides last week. I just don't mind Daniel Berger at that price. 10 straight make cuts in a row. I mean, that's highly appealing. Someone that does have to be a little bit more aggressive, has to make up some ground on the field. I'm good with that. It's just, we're kind of looking for stuff right now. A lot of people will go on EVR because of the 5th, 7th, 37th, and 1st place finish. I wouldn't disagree with that. Actually, Kevin Na hasn't really been playing poorly as well. He's someone that could easily make up some ground. We finally saw Jason Kokrak play well. I'm fine with that. There's just a lot of choices that you have to make on this bottom end. But for me, I'm really going to be firing at Daniel Berger and Scotty Scheffler. And there's one other player that I want to mention as well, because I think he's going to be a pretty good play at his price point as well. That's going to be Sungjae Im. So Sungjae Im I don't mind as well. 11th and 19th here in the past 2 years. He's going to need to gain some ground, but overall, 5th best staff in the field, 13th best in course history rank, 10th best in recent form rank, and top 7 in the 9 to 5 mile this week. 8 straight make cuts in a row. Just looking like a pretty stellar play there for Sungjae Im. He's a player that I like this week. But that's all I have for you guys for this video. I know there's a lot of fluff to it and whatnot, but kind of just Tour Championship week, a little bit different way of looking at it, and that's just kind of how it has to be for this week, which is unfortunate. But that's all I have for you guys this week. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a like and subscribe. Make sure to check out Fandex again last week to really get in on that action. And then, let's have a good week. And as always, let's keep cashing.